can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good afternoon, party people. How are we all today? Gameweek 37 is upon us. I am joined today by Paulie and Dre, and I think for the first time in about 2 weeks, I have had a successful start without being on mute. How are we all? Let me mute myself there.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Paulie.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we today?
I'm doing all right.
Paulie,
I'm just living the dream, being on Elite FPL, baby.
Let's go. Paulie, quiet as ever. Paulie, if you can speak a bit louder for the audience, that would be very much appreciated. Alternatively, if you can get yourself a megaphone, that also be very handy. We have got Waz FPL in the chat, Bilal Qureshi. We've got the regulars. We've got Dread FPL, Joe Page, JC, Skinny Man, Daniel Bain, JC again, Echo, MSK117, Cameron Rawcliffe. How are we all, guys? How are you boys looking for Gameweek 37? All set?
Yeah, just the captain I need to choose.
Where
bench boost active.
Awesome, awesome. And you, Dre?
I'm relaxed. Done one transfer. I'm just relaxed. I'm just waiting for that deadline, and yeah, that's all. Just waiting for the game week to start.
Interesting. You say you're undecided on captain right now, Paulie. I believe you're also on a bench boost, are you?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
You want to tell the audience about that? Why this week and not next week, and what is a bench boost looking like?
Well, I've basically got bench boost and triple captain left.
Wow.
So I need to use them both these 2 weeks. So I went bench boost this week because my team on a whole looks better
Nice.
than it would do next week. So
you got all your chips, eh? Interesting.
well, yeah, it's not doing me any well though, is it?
Question to the chat, question to you boys as well. Where are you going currently with your captain? Same question to chat. I'll start with you, Dre.
Where am I going with my captain? Well, I'm leaning towards Bruno, and the reason why I'm leaning towards Bruno is because I feel that between the FA Cup and the game coming up, they have sufficient time to relax. And yeah, I just feel that Bruno may not play. I don't think Bruno will play that many minutes, hopefully. Although the last FA Cup match, he played 120 minutes, so you never know.
Okay, interesting. It's chill. And you, Paulie?
It's on Rashford at the minute, but I'm not settled on that, so that might change.
Interesting. So we've got Bruno and we've got Rashford.
Only other option I've really got, I think, is Danny Ings at Bournemouth.
Interesting. No, that is a nice differential option, and if you had had him captain this week, he would have served you well otherwise.
I did captain him this week.
Of course you did. You're not feeling to go for it again?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but he never seems to play games in a row, does he? He always seems to start on bench in some of them.
So you're worried Danny Ings could get benched?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening this close to the end with him chasing the golden boot, though, if I'm completely honest. Do you not think?
I do, but it happened to Aubameyang, didn't it, over there?
They've got something to play for, haven't they? They've got the cup.
Yeah, true. Well, I've got 4 hours to change it anyway, or 3 hours to change it. So.
Interesting. So going through the chat, we've got...
It'll either be Rashford or Danny Ings. It will be one of them two.
Interesting. Danny Ings could be a nice differential. He's on fire. He seems to be scoring every single game right now, which is typical because I've not owned him. I don't think I've owned him all season.
Yeah, it's sort of highlights. He had a goal disallowed on it post as well, didn't it, over there?
Yeah, exactly. So we've got Bilal Qureshi with Martial. We've got Cameron Rawcliffe saying Mane. Grillan254 saying Salah or Rashford for me. We've got the Don saying Sterling captain. Patrick captain either Martial or Bamiyang. Waz FPL Martial or Sterling. Marcelo Rebello, Salah or J Rodriguez. Interesting. Ibrahim Gunnar says you changed your captain. Daniel Bain saying Mope Brace. Dread FPL, yeah, done now already. Christopher Wood, Dread FPL is captaining Chris Wood. You heard that correctly, guys. Shano83, how's it going, buddy? Appreciate that. Good luck to you too, mate. Mr. Easy saying, question, guys. I have Mane. My rival has Son. I'm just in the lead. Should I switch Mane to Son? I say hashtag play your own game. GWiz, I know, says hashtag play your own game. I don't think that necessarily, I don't think you need to necessarily block him right now. What do you boys think about that? What's your thoughts on something like that? Would you block if you're only a few points ahead?
It's all right blocking, but then it only takes one other player, doesn't it, to mess that up for you.
Trey?
I agree with Paulie.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'd rather your differentials, the other players that you've chosen, you use them kind of, to elevate you. But I think Mane is probably the better captain option there. Bilal says Danny Ings won't be benched. Clearly, Bilal Qureshi is quaking in his underpants. Daniel Bain says Mo Salah captain. JC can't see it happen in terms of Ings being benched. MSK saying, I'm telling everybody captain Tarkovsky if they have him. He's getting a big 15-pointer. But I'll tell you what, if Burnley concede tonight, I will be injecting myself because I don't have any Burnley defenders, and I've got a good feeling with the injuries that Burnley team has got. And I'm not sure if Steve will agree or disagree, but they've got Ben Mee out injured. They've now got Charlie Taylor out injured. I believe Loughton's been injured for a while too. They're quite weak in defence. I'm not too sure. I think Eric Peters might play at left back. You've got Bardsley, who's like 59 years old, playing at right back. Kevin Long at centre back apparently had a bit of a niggle during the last game, so I'm not sure how fit he'll be. So really, you've only got Tarkovsky and you've got Nick Pope there. So yeah, I'm not too sure they'll keep a clean sheet if I'm perfectly honest. Do you boys have any Burnley assets?
My transfer this week where I put McNeil in.
Okay, attacking asset, yeah?
Yeah, I don't own any defenders. Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Drezera?
Good question. Yeah, I have transferred a Burnley player in.
Are you willing to elaborate?
Yeah. I will reveal exclusively on stream that I have brought in 35-year-old Phil Bardsley in.
Kept that quiet. Matt, aka the Gooner, if you're listening, he's brought in Phil Bardsley. Steve-O in chat saying they, i.e. Norwich, have more scoring options. We have Wood or J-Rod. He goes, there's a higher chance of Norwich scoring than us. Interesting. Steve-O, where are you looking to go with your armband this week? If you're willing to divulge, I'd be interested to know. Just scrolling through chat again. Shane083 asking, thoughts on Pulisic and Vardy to Ings and Son? 2 free transfers. From my perspective, I would absolutely do that, Shano. Paulie, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you've also got Son in your team right now.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
What do you think of those 2 free transfers?
I've had Son in since restart.
All right, show off.
I think the Danny Ings definitely,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of people who will wanting to stay away from Tottenham, aren't there?
There are.
No,
But,
if you trust him to do something Leicester Crystal Palace, then yeah, put him in. But if you're worried about either one of the fixtures, then I'll stay away from him.
Interesting. Yeah, I put a tweet out about why I think Son might be a good option for these last 2 game weeks. But before I divulge on that, Dre, do you have any thoughts on Son or Tottenham assets generally speaking?
I think Son is perhaps the most impressive asset right now for Tottenham. I mean, even though Harry Kane scored 2 goals, I mean, can Kane keep the scoring run? It just doesn't give me that confidence.
So I myself, as you guys can see on screen, made 2 transfers, although I didn't really need to. So I got rid of Pulisic, I got rid of Jimenez, and I brought in Son and Chris Wood for a -4. The reason I brought Son in was I thought about it. Obviously, Leicester just kept a clean sheet against Sheffield United, but they are down to their bare bones in terms of their defence right now. Admittedly, Luke Thomas, I think it is, who came in at left back for Leicester, had a good game, but their defence is pretty weak. They've got Luke Thomas at left back, an unknown entity apart from that one game. Got James Justin at right back, who's looked quite susceptible in recent weeks, and they've got Wes Morgan, who's also 59 years old, and Johnny Evans at centre back. So there's quite an ageing and inexperienced defence there to some extent. Following that game, they've got Palace at home, in which Son scored 2 goals in the reverse fixture, who look now to be without Patrick Van Aanholt for the rest of the season. If you really need any more persuading, then don't bother bringing him in. But moving on, just catching up with the chat again. Abdulaziz saying KDB and Greenwood to David Silva and Vardy. I'm 100% doing it, but what are your thoughts? Well, if you're 100% doing it, you don't need our thoughts, do you, pal? Moving on, David McCauley. Hi, mate. Would you start Henderson or Dubravka? Henderson home to Everton, Dubravka away to Brighton. That's a tough one. I think that's closer then. I think I would side with Henderson just though, because Sheffield United look quite good defensively. What do you boys think?
Yeah, Sheffield United's defensive record this year. They'd be up there with
real, isn't it?
To start into, yeah. But saying that, Newcastle got Brighton.
Brighton away, yeah.
Are Brighton going to score?
I think they will. Newcastle have got a lot of injuries right now as well. Lascelles is their only fit centre back.
I would go Henderson, I think, yeah.
I think I'd go Henderson. That's that. David McCauley saying, hi, mate, would you start? That's the question that we just answered. Devang saying, thoughts on KDB captain? Could be an option. Will he be rested? We don't really know. He wouldn't be my favourite. I'm currently between Sterling and Martial. Have either of you boys thought of KDB captain? If you own him, that is.
Ooh. I believe that, for real, I have KDB in my team, but I just feel that he's going to get rested in 37. I just have that feeling he's going to either be rested or come off the bench.
Interesting indeed. Zimmy saying, hi, Bhuna, how you doing, buddy? Zimmy? Waz FPL asking, however, I'm considering Salah captain. My loyalty to Liverpool is getting the better of me here. Waz, rise above it, mate. Having said that, I don't actually think Salah's a bad option at all. He's still going for that golden boot. He's looked... I think his XG is pretty high in the recent games. He probably should have scored more than he has. Would you boys think Salah a good option? Yes or no?
I think Liverpool players are always good options.
I mean...
Are they?
Scoring goals against any team.
There's a few reasons why I think Salah is a good option, especially these last two games. So firstly, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Liverpool will be lifting the trophy after this particular game. So I'm sure they won't be wanting to doing it on a somber note. So they will be going all out, as far as I'm aware, to get this win. And if so, Salah will probably be heavily involved. To add to that, Chelsea have been pretty shit off late. Defensively, they're terrible. So that's another factor. And then finally, Salah plays a pretty weak Newcastle side in Gameweek 38. I think Salah's a good option to own over the next two, and I don't think he's a bad captain at all for this particular game week. And I think it'd be a differential too, which you can't often say about him. Bilal says, if Norwich score tonight, that would be so funny. It will be so funny, mate. I will be injecting my veins. Is Aurier back in training, or will he miss tomorrow's game? I think Mourinho said if he comes back tonight, or did he say if he got back last night and took part in training today, there would be a chance he'd feature. Personally, I can't see it. So I would have backup options if you haven't already. Grillen saying time for a Pookie party. Can you imagine? He started the season with a bang. Is he going to end it with a bang? We wait and see. Mr. Easy. Where's Mr. Easy gone? Of course my mum calls me whilst I'm reading through questions. Mr. Easy says, my captain is going to be KDB. Fingers crossed he plays. Good luck to you, man. Steve is saying there's a higher chance of... Yeah, we've been through that. Ibrahim Gunner. Would you swap TAA for Doherty for 1 week before a free hit? I wouldn't. I think TAA... cometh the hour, cometh the man. This could be the game week where he returns for FPL managers. Chelsea aren't exactly, holding teams out. Their defence looks weak. TAA, if Liverpool score, there's a good chance he's involved. I wouldn't do that transfer. It seems unnecessary. Will J Rod play today? He was a doubt, but I believe I'm correct in saying he's been past fit. So if he doesn't start, he'll almost certainly be on the bench, is my opinion. Cameron Rawcliffe saying he's stuck in between two minds, with Vardy only seeing Leicester scoring 1 goal versus Spurs. Who do I get, though? You've got Chris Wood, you've got Rashford, Jesus. There's a few options. It really depends if you need that money to free up for other slots across your team, Cameron. But Vardy has got the motivation off that golden boot. He's leading already. I'm sure he will want to extend it. So keeping Vardy could be the more intelligent move there. Bilal says, Armstrong, a good shout for Game Week 37. Can afford Son as well, taking out Pulisic. I know what you're going to say, Paulie, but Dre Zero, if you were asked whether, you'd go Son or Armstrong, who would you go?
I think Son just gives you more confidence and consistency over Armstrong.
I think Armstrong's a really intelligent and clever differential, but I think Son is the slightly more explosive one. Son for me, Bilal. Matt, what is this? Matt Hanley saying I might get Son in as well for Pulisic. Have I started the Son brigade or something? It's interesting. Mr. Easy says West Ham winning is a good thing for United assets next game. I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Easy. West Ham having now confirmed, their place. Is it confirmed? Confirmed? Are they definitely staying up, or is it mathematically? Guys?
Bournemouth and Aston Villa can tie them on points.
So they're near enough there. I think West Ham will be a bit more laid back than they would have been if they needed the 3 points in this game. So, yeah, I think United assets could be brilliant this week.
I think also that their goal difference means that I think West Ham should be safe now, unless something catastrophic happens.
It needs to be like a 10 to a 12 goal swing in the last 2 games.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I've kind of moved my armband from Sterling to Martial. I've seen a few people reporting that United might play a weaker team this week. They might play Igalo up front. So if Martial is rested, then that's even better. I think I'll be sticking with Martial. I think he's more nailed on to start game week 37. With City having already sewn up Champions League places, United will need to be going for it. So I think Martial captain is a great pick. And United assets more generally. Although having said that, I've got Mason Greenwood on the bench, which isn't brilliant, but hopefully, if one player gets rotated, it's not the end of the world. Cheers, Luke. Appreciate that, mate. T-Tac saying, one free transfer. Would you do Vardy to Ings or Wood or TAA to Doc? I'd keep TAA. I do Vardy to... I'm biased because I've brought in Wood, but I do think he's got a great fixture this week. I think either are a brilliant option, Ings or Wood. You could equally hold Vardy and carry 2 transfers over. I think that's understated how valuable that is going to be. I wish I'd taken my own advice. But hey, I've brought Wood in now, and I could have carried 2 free transfers over, but I didn't. But it is what it is. Mr. Easy saying Maguire has got to score next game for sure. I mean, for those that watched the last United game, I think Maguire had about 3 or 4 goal attempts from Bruno Fernandes corners. Did you see that, Paulie? I don't know how he didn't put one of those away.
Yeah, I was complaining all game because I've got Maguire.
Ouch.
Yeah,
And then he went and got bugged into. So it was frustrating.
That must have been painful. Will Connolly start this game week? Possibly. I don't think he started the last one. So, yeah, maybe. Marco Rebella saying Fernandes is not fit. I'm on about... Fernandes is fit. I'm on about the other Newcastle United defensive assets, Marco. Inject that, says Dread FPL. Aman Dillon saying who to play, Greenwood or Antonio? Greenwood for me. Mr. Easy saying
Greenwood.
Yes. Yeah, Greenwood. That's agreement from Paulie. Yes, KDB captain. Good luck with that. Yeah, be careful with the injuries off FA Cup. We can only control what we can control, Marco. So, that's not really in our hands. Cameron Rawcliffe saying keep Vardy. If not, who to go for? Keeping Vardy could be a shrewd move. There are other options like Rashford, like Ings if you don't own him, and a differential in Chris Wood. Could be another good option. G. Evans saying Laporte and Pulisic out for Son and cheap defender, maybe Tarkowski. Could absolutely pay off. But you're kind of hoping Laporte doesn't start there. A few people asking Mahrez or Greenwood. So it's more difficult than it actually sounds. There is a chance that Mahrez could get rotated, and we don't really know what's happening with Greenwood, whether he starts in the cup or not. I've got a feeling he might not start. What would you boys say to that, Mahrez or Greenwood? If you were to start one, who would it be?
I think if it weren't for the FA Cup, I'd start Mahrez. But just because it's FA Cup, either of them could be rested. So it's a tough one. But I think Mahrez has got more chance with the FA Cup to be rested than what Greenwood has.
I'd agree with that. So I'd probably start Greenwood there. Got Brew in the chat. How's it going, Brew? We've got Aussie Boy in the chat. Aussie Boy asking Foden to Antonio. Not this week, Aussie Boy. That seems very sideways. Foden is probably a better pick this week. He played 90 minutes last game, so there's a good chance he doesn't play tonight and therefore starts at Watford. So I'd keep Foden. Grillen asking who to start, Foden or Greenwood. I have Bruno, Rashford and Mahrez already. So you're starting Mahrez over Greenwood and Foden. Interesting. You're not considered the fact that there's a chance he doesn't start at Watford, or are you just going to hedge your bets there, Grillen? Anyway, your question, Foden or Greenwood? I would start Foden. Ibrahim Gunnar saying KDB played as a defensive midfielder for the 2 game weeks. Don't know why he's an option to captain. Yeah, but we know Kevin De Bruyne can turn up in any game. I think I don't think he's such a bad option, Ibrahim. Antonio or Greenwood? Greenwood for me. Marco Rebello, Salah don't blank 3 consecutive games. Salah, I'm not too sure what you're getting at there, pal. Luke saying 1 week punt, free hit next week. Ings or Wood? That's the question on a lot of people's tongues right now. What do you guys think?
Ooh.
So it's a
For
tough
what?
question this week.
The 1 weeker.
You would think that Ings would have more creativity around him than Burnley.
Yeah, I'd probably side with
very
Ings,
hard.
but I've brought Wood in, so what was I thinking there? I have absolutely no idea. Elite FPL Stevo agrees. He says Ings. Amandilin answering the question. Antonio Greenwood says Antonio only because Greenwood has injury doubt. Alex A saying Salah and Mane too much on a free hit. I think so. I think Salah is probably the one to own there. I think that's too much money for a team that's now on the beach. Sorry, Dread. The truth is what the truth is, though. Vardy keep for Spurs. You agree?
Yeah, I agree. The beach is lovely.
Amazing, guys. We finally have an undeluded, a Liverpool fan that is not deluded. Welcome. It's nice to meet you, Dre. Vardy keep for Spurs or sell to Ings or Wood? This is a question that's coming up and over and over. The amount of people that are going to be getting rid of Vardy, Alexander, you could be in the money and in the points if Vardy bangs this weekend, and you're off. You're one of very few holding on to him. Any confirmed news on Mason Holgate? I've not heard anything. Paulie, you're usually informed. Have you heard anything on Mason Holgate? I've not seen anything.
Has it been taken off the doubt? I'm sure I saw that it had been taken off.
I will have a quick look. Refresh that. He is still a yellow flag. So yeah, I think he's touch and go.
He did play some game against Villa, didn't he?
Yeah, but he got taken off again after like 35 minutes or something.
Oh. Same injury or different?
It looked similar. Steve was saying if J-Rod starts tonight, we win. If not, it'll be close. A man Dylan asking Pope away to Norwich or Hendo home to Everton.
Right, I've just been on Twitter and it says Carlo Ancelotti has confirmed that Mason Holgate, Yerry Mina and Fabian Delph will miss the rest of the season.
Interesting, guys. Well, there we have it. Bringing you the latest and only the latest news. Mina, Holgate and Fabian Delph are out for the rest of the season. That does not bode well for Everton. Assets. Avoid. That's bad. It's not good. Pope or Hendo, boys? Pope away to Norwich. I think they'll concede, so I'm going to go Hendo. Quick answer from you, Pope or Hendo? Hendo. Dre?
Hendo.
Okay, we've got 3 Hendos, so probably go Pope there, Mandilin. Got Cameron Rawcliffe saying, yeah, probably best shout. 2 free transfers for next week would be nice. I completely agree. I wish I had 2 free transfers and didn't waste mine. Son is playing up front now. Mourinho playing 4-4-2. I was not aware. I've not seen a lot of Spurs recently, but if that's the case, then that's even better. Ricardo Pagan, I'm not familiar with the name Ricardo. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Who should I triple captain this week? KDB, Bruno or Salah? Salah. I think Salah could be a clever option there and one that not a lot of people will go with. I will ask the others. Paulie, Dre, what do you think? KDB, Bruno, Salah for a triple captain. If you were pushed for an answer, who would it be?
I don't think KDB. So it'd be between Salah and Fernandes for me. I'd probably just go Fernandes just because of fixture.
Yeah.
Salah's probably going to play because they've not got an FA Cup game and they're playing for getting trophy after game as well.
Interesting. Dre?
Bruno.
Oh, you're captaining Bruno. You're considering Bruno for captain this week, right?
Yes, but I just fully agree with everything that Paulie said. I feel like Fernandes is a safe option if you're going triple captaincy route. Just basically partly Liverpool's on the beach and Man United has something to play for, and Man City are on the they're on the train to the beach in terms of Premier League, or they've secured second.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. I think I'm about 10 minutes behind in terms of questions, so I am going to try and speed this up a bit, guys. I will get around to all of your questions, so don't worry too much about that. So Jay saying, do we have to pay for this content? Absolutely not, mate. It's all free. I know you've already addressed that, Dre. Thank you for that. Yes, West Ham are 6 points clear and huge goal difference, so pretty much safe, exactly. So they might take it easy a bit, and United could absolutely take them to the cleaners. Chris saying, hello, everyone. Are people concerned Man United players are starting to get tired? He hopes so. I don't think they are. I think Martial in particular is looking on fire. I think if you don't own him, then he could really do you a lot of damage these last 2 game weeks. Thoughts on Greenwood and Zuma for Burnley players? J. Rod and Bardsley. Greenwood and Zuma out. Not for a hit, Matthew. I'd maybe do one of the 2 transfers. Maybe Zuma to Bardsley, or I would probably prefer Peters, if you ask me. Steve-O saying, I wouldn't captain a Burnley player. Very, very rare they provide a double-digit return. I mean, it's fact, simple facts. Dread FPL obviously is captaining Chris Wood this week. HRJ77 saying, hope Martial doesn't have a knock in the FA Cup. I mean, I don't think he's going to start, to be honest. I think he might get a rest, and he might go, like Notorious Nerd is expecting Man United to play Rashford, Igalo, James, Bruno, Fred, McTominay. I think it'll be close to that. I think at least one of that front 3 will get rested. Tomorrow, I think they play.
Yeah, I think Man U are going to prioritise league, actually.
Yeah, I do too. I completely agree. I don't think they will go full second string, because I'm sure Ollie still wants to win a trophy. I think there'll be a bit of more of a mixed team as opposed to the City and Arsenal game. Who do United play?
Chelsea. So I think
Chelsea.
they're both going to play. They're both going to play, like, I don't know, close to second string.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a mix there. Blair Blair Blair, nice name, says, I'm 20 points behind the league leader in my mini league, and I know he's going to captain Martial Sterling. Which differential should I captain? I wouldn't try to be too smart. I would stick with the sensible option and look at the rest of your team as differentials. So I'd go with who you think in your team will score the most points, not different for the sake of being different, and try and bring the difference down elsewhere in your team. Marco saying, I had Jay in my team, Elite FPL Steve. He reckons he's got a great feeling he'll score. Jay Rodriguez. T-Tac saying, start Pulisic or Foden. Foden for me. Steve says there's a decent chance he'll probably score, just Burnley rarely score 2+, which is very true. Lundstrom over Egan, says Stephen Jackson. Chance of Lundstrom start, I think. It's a bit risky. You know, Egan's nailed on, so he's a safer option. Absolutely. Ashley Young saying, hi Steve, with McNeil and Goodmanson on both wings and J Rod possibly playing, I think Burnley could score a few. I hope so, as a Chris Wood owner. Ashley, nice to see you're joining Elite FPL and, you know, retired from football. Ashley Young, they're joining us all the way over from Italy. T-Tac saying KDB still needs 2 assists for the record. I don't think he's thinking about that right now, but if I'm completely honest, T-Tac. Sean FPL saying, Willian or Antonio, which one to start? Evening, Sean. How you doing, buddy? I'd probably go Willian out of the 2. Although there's no doubting Antonio's in form right now, but if you can make a transfer and change one of those out, if you've got free transfer, I'd probably do that. A few differentials at the moment out there, including the likes of Trossard, Armstrong, McNeil. At this stage of the season, if you're chasing, why not try something a little bit different? Steve-O saying, if we had Messi and Ronaldo, we'd be lucky to get 2 goals. LOL. Sharif Gabba saying, Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Wood -4. Do it. Calvert-Lewin, waste of space. I don't care if you need a goal minimum to make ends meet. Calvert-Lewin is an absolute waste of space. MSK117, I have a bad feeling on captaining Martial this week. May settle for KDB. I mean, if that's what your gut's telling you, bro, that's what your gut's telling you. Go for it. I am going for Martial, and I will be vice-captain in Sterling, and the rest is history. Stephen Jackson saying he looks set to miss the rest of the season. Holgate he's referring to there. Mohamed Dama saying, is McNeil a good shout to bring in? I think he is. Steve-O kind of thinks different. He's not too sure Burnley will take Norwich to the cleaners. Like he says, Burnley don't tend to score too much. But I personally think he's a good differential. Waz says, I've done my transfers, mate. Sterling and Nketiah in for Willian and Rashford. Sterling and Nketiah, like you said, in for Willian and Rashford. The Rashford out move I'm not too keen on, but hey, good luck to you, my man. Jabbit, Jabt, do you think David Silva starts game week 37? I think he starts both of the last 2 games. Yes, from me. Elite FPL Steve is saying punt on Goodmanson instead. You just know it, Steve. Goodmanson's going to return like a 15-pointer. He's done it before when he was a starter every single game week. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it again. Mr. Easy, Mane would be the big difference. I can't pronounce that name. Egigba, Peter, Greenwood or Foden. Close one. I think Foden just edges it. Bilal Qureshi answers Greenwood. Matthew Hopkins saying KDB or Silva. KDB for me. Bilal Qureshi says KDB. Roman Jarvis says thoughts on Matt Ritchie. He's okay. He's not got the best of game weeks and their defence is a bit depleted right now, and then they play Liverpool, so I wouldn't be looking to bring him in if that's what you're inferring there, Roman. Martial or Son. Martial, hands down, Alex01. Nerd says thoughts on Vidra if he starts. Bloody don't tell me that, Nerd. I don't want him starting. Can you imagine Chris Wood gets benched tonight and Vidra and Rodriguez start? What's the chances on that happening, Steve-o? Fantasy football fan saying Fernandes looks tired to me, but I can't see him getting rested. Just come off after 60 if they're well up. Yeah, completely agree. He seems like a nailed-on option. He doesn't seem to really get rotated. He can get taken off early. So if you're captaining him, you're kind of hoping he does the business before that. Okay, there we go. Steve-o answering. Vidra, you've definitely never watched them then. Mr. Easy saying, are we wasting our time and money attempting to get City players that play? Yeah, I don't think we can guess the Pep Roulette, Mr. Easy. So if you've got a couple City assets, you've got to just keep on to them. Keep hold of them. I wouldn't be taking hits to switch, personally. Sorry about the hiccups, guys. I had 10 KFC strips before I come on air. It's not my best decision I've ever made. Mr. Anderson saying Mane, David Silva, KDB or Martial captain for folks. Martial for me, Ian. Gaddy Rappaport saying start Nketiah or Pulisic. Nketiah, I think he's back for game week 37. He's banned for tonight's game. So there's a very strong chance, Gaddy, that he starts against Villa. And a good option off that. Skinny Man saying Sterling captain, yeah. I've been between Sterling and Martial, Skinny Man, so I think he's a good option. Daniel Bain saying bench Willian or Greenwood. I'd bench Willian. We've got Notorious Nerd saying Nketiah. Bilal Qureshi saying start Nketiah. Bilal Qureshi also saying Willian over Greenwood. Interesting. Mr. Easy leaving us. Take care, Mr. Easy. Mr. Easy. FPL user saying sometimes you won't believe Steve-o's a Burnley supporter. I think Steve-o's just very pessimistic, putting it lightly, but I think that's Steve-o in a nutshell. Whereas FPL, I was about to click something on those transfers, but I didn't. So thoughts on a Bernardo punt as a straight swap for Willian. Now you're overthinking it, Waz. Not for me. Steve-o says no chance. Wood will start. I hope so, Steve-o. Bilal Qureshi saying no, Waz, for Bernardo. KDB or Sterling captain? KDB for me, Chef Boys. Bilal Qureshi saying Sterling. Roman asking, do you think Aubameyang will start? It's a good question. He'll probably play tonight. Will he start again? I think he'll start. I don't think they're going to rest him for 2 league games in a row. And I don't think Aubameyang would take that too well if he was, given that he's been in the race for the Golden Boot. So I think Aubameyang starts. I think he's a great option that is probably being overlooked right now. Admittedly, if the FA Cup wasn't this weekend, I think a lot more people would be looking at him. So, it's kind of understandable. Jason asking Greenwood or Nketiah. Boys, what do you think about that? Greenwood or Nketiah? I think it's a close one, that.
Yeah, I think Nketiah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dre.
I'm actually going to go Greenwood.
Okay, so 2 Nketiah, 1 Greenwood there, Jace. Waz saying, I don't have enough for Mahrez at the moment. Sadly, might go for David Silva. I think David Silva is the safer option there, Waz, over Mahrez. I've got a feeling Mahrez might not start that game, so I would go David Silva. I think they'll give him the next 2 games. Fantasy Football Fan saying KDB captain surely only played 63 minutes in the last 2 games. Yeah, maybe. Depends on how many minutes he gets tonight. It really sucks that we're not going to know how many minutes everyone gets tonight before the deadline. Bit frustrating, but hey, it is what it is. KB saying Tarkovsky, Tierney, Baldock or Doherty for this week only. Doherty for me, KB. Alex Koo, do you think Nketiah will start for the last game? I'm not too sure. It depends on how many minutes and how he performs against Aston Villa, Alex. He's absolutely not nailed, that's for sure. But I do think he'll play the Villa game. Bill saying go David Silva then. Wes, completely agree. And that is us up to speed, guys. Keep the questions coming if you'd like us to, if you've got any more queries. Other than that, the more questions you ask, the longer this stream goes. If the question stop, then this stream stops. Have you guys got anything to add to that? Some of the key topics coming up there. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, boys.
I just think main thing is really who's going to play in FA Cup, who's going to play in 37. Because you've got 4 big teams, so they've got, well, especially Man United and Man City, they're highly owned, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good so rotation and good captain picks and vice captain picks could come into play as well.
We won't know is the problem. Marion Hughes asking, is Aurier confirmed out? He's not confirmed out, Marion. But there's a good chance he doesn't play. I can't see it.
He's in France, isn't he?
Yeah, so Mourinho said yesterday if he was back by today, he would be in with a chance, but I don't think he'll be in the right state of mind for that personally.
I'm surprised to play it last game, actually.
You and me both, mate. Tragic what happened there. RIP to Warrior's brother. I hope he doesn't play. He needs some time off. I think he needs the rest of the season off personally, so we shall see. It's not like we've got too much to play for right now. Patan Nair asking Pope captain a good shout? Yeah, mate. Brilliant shout. So much better than Sterling and Martial. Go for it. Happy Dude Geneva. Triple up on Burnley? Seems a stretch too far. I wouldn't.
I'd max them and go double there.
Notorious Nerd asking, do you think Arteta can give Pep a run for his money and stretch the game to extra time? Can you imagine the head loss in this community? If that game goes to extra time? That'd be frustrating.
Well, that would be crazy indeed.
Bella Qureshi asking, good punts for free hit 38. Have you boys looked ahead to Gameweek 38 yet? You're triple captaining in 38, Paulie.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've had a look at Gameweek 38. Anyone that sticks out to you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to just throw it on David Silva.
Really? There we go. David Silva is an option. Everton are...
He's going to be my transfer in and I'm just going to stick armband on him.
Interesting. David Silva is definitely going to be a popular option for Game Week 38. Maybe even this week. You've got Everton at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth obviously with everything to play for, but I think the likes of Richarlison might have a bit of fun that game. Burnley at home to Brighton. Arsenal at home to Watford. Aubameyang, he's not a differential really, but there's not that many teams that have him either, especially in the top 100k and top 10k. I think there'll be a lot more come Game Week 38. He could be an option. You've got Son and Kane away to Palace. I know a lot of people don't really like Spurs assets, and I can kind of understand that, but they have shown a bit of resurgence in form in recent weeks. So I think they could be options. But yeah, there's some of the differentials I can think of.
West Ham return to Villa as well.
West Ham to Villa. I think Antonio will be a popular option for that final game week 2. Blah, blah, blah. Asking, do you reckon Japhet Tanganga gets a start? Could happen. Could absolutely happen. I don't know if he's been on the bench recently. If so, yeah. There's a chance of that. Who would you start, Foden or Silva? David Silva for me, Waz. T-Tac asking, would you take a -4 for Doherty? I'm not for that really, T-Tac. It really depends on who you're taking out, buddy. Let us know in the chat, though, and then I can answer that for you. Jack Bendy saying, United, Chelsea more likely to go the distance. FA Cup he's referring to. Was on Martial captain, but switched to Sterling now. Yeah, but I think Sterling's more likely to start, Jack, and Martial is less likely. So even if he was to come on, he'd probably get 60, 70 minutes maximum, even if he played extra time. So I think he's the safer option, personally. Sorry, Paulie.
I was about to say, have you seen the interview that Aurier has given on his brother?
No. Fill us in.
I've seen it on Twitter. He's told him reason what happened about his brother and stuff.
What exactly did happen?
It says his brother basically spoke to his ex-girlfriend, and her new boyfriend told him to stop, and Aria's brother didn't reply to him, so he went to full place and shot him.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my days. That's nuts. Is that true?
Yeah, it says, it was about a woman. He spoke with an ex from a while ago. Her new boyfriend wanted him to stop. Christopher wasn't responding to him. He ignored him. He went to buy some food. He came back and shot him.
That's mental. That's crazy. It's tragic. I can't believe that. Steve is saying, worth a punt. I'm expecting 1-1, 1-0 either way, or 2-1 either way. Do you want to add any more predictions to that, Steve? 3-1, 3-2? I mean, you've named them all anyway. Chris Jagger saying, surely people have seen Bruno's standards dropping over the last couple of games. I have. I noticed that, Chris. He's still involved, but he's not as sharp, I don't think. Can't help but think it'll have an impact on Greenwood and Martial. Fair points. Do you think that's the case? Paul, you're a United fan. Try to think of it from a non-biased perspective for a moment. Have you noticed a difference in Fernandes?
He didn't look as explosive in last game.
I
don't know if it's just because he also played 120 minutes in FA Cup. He's not had any rest, has he?
Be interesting to see.
Yeah, one thing I did notice though was Mason Greenwood in last game. He'd looked completely off it.
I know, that's why he's on my bench. Dre, you're going to be captaining Fernandes. What's your take on that?
So I feel that, fingers crossed, Bruno just relaxes on the bench, or just, goes to the beach with Liverpool and just, sit out this game, because obviously Man United know the big money's in the Champions League rather than the 3 million prize money of the FA Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, I'll take this opportunity to, just ask if you're enjoying this stream so far. There's been between 90 and 100 people watching most of the stream. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you know when either myself, Steve-O, or Jason go live. As always, it is appreciated. Going back to the questions, we've got SA Sports Fanatic asking thoughts on tonight's game. He reckons it's going to be a high-scoring game. And asks, is Wood really essential? I don't think he's essential at all. I don't think he's essential, but I think he's a nice player to have. And I agree. I think there will be goals in this game. I think it could be a 2-2 or something. What do you boys think?
I think both teams will score.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think there'll be a clean sheet game tonight.
Dre?
Yeah, I agree with Paulie. Hammer and tongs, let's get at it.
Let's go, baby. Steve-O, as I speak, is probably trying to perfect my accent. Isn't that right, Steve-O? Yusuf saying David Silva will start against Arsenal. I think he's in good form right now. I think, yeah, maybe. But I do think he'll start the rest of the games as well. These are the final 2 games of the season. Surely he's going to be nailed on for that. Don't think Pep's going to, take that away from him. Neon Popped Up saying, if that Chelsea defence didn't let Norwich have a shot on target, then I expect Burnley to keep that clean sheet. Yeah, but Neon Popped Up, remember that Burnley have got quite a few injuries in defence, and they're not quite at full strength. I know Norwich have been pretty poor off late. By late, I obviously mean the whole season, but I think they could score tonight. It could be FPL bias. It could just be the fact that I haven't got a Burnley defender, but remains to be seen. Jack Benzie asking, Kane or Son in 38 looks good. Also, Salah or Bamiyang as outsiders. Yeah, 4 good options there, Jack. Nice differentials too, for the most part. Steve is saying, high scoring. I'll say this this is exactly how Steve-O's written this, boys. High scoring. 2 teams that can't score. Chelsea managed 1. Should have scored 3. Look at their attack. The disgust on my face. That is disgusting. I think Antonio is going to continue with the goals. I hope not, Skinny Man, but there's a good chance he does. SA Sports Fanatic, Kane is actually a good captain shout versus Leicester. Yeah, but on the eye test, he just doesn't appeal to me personally. Son looks better. But, Kane's back in the goal, so what am I to tell you? Kane will kick arse in 38 plus. People speaking amongst them. You love to see it. Waz saying, I think I'm going to flip a coin now for the armband between Salah and Martial. Good luck to you, Waz. Neon Pop-Tart, who's a better striker, Wood or Giroud? If you mean for this game week and not generally speaking Wood, if you mean as a footballer and, over the past 10 years or whatever, obviously Giroud. Blah, blah, blah. I love saying that name. Should I take a -4 to get in Bardsley or Peters? Already have Pope instead of me starting Tanganga or Target. Who do Aston Villa play? Arsenal. This is a difficult one. I'm going to ask you guys first because I'm not too sure. -4 to bring in Bardsley or Peters. Blah, blah, blah. Already has Pope. Or should he just start Tanganga? Hope he plays. If not, he's got Target on the bench. Personally, I think I would go the latter. I'd just start Tanganga and pray that he starts. If not, Target comes on against Arsenal rather than taking a -4 and doubling up on a Burnley defence, which in my opinion is probably going to concede anyway. What do you lot think?
I think a Burnley defender for a Burnley defender, unless it's Charlie Taylor, that's very sideways. So I'd stick with Tanganga.
Not a Burnley defender for a Burnley defender, I don't think. Is it Burnley? No. He's asking, should I take a -4 to get in Bardsley or Peters, one of them? He's already got Pope, and his other two defenders are Tanganga, who might not start, or he might start, or Target.
He's wanting to use a -4 to get in.
To double up on Burnley defender.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't. Dre?
I would stick. I think twisting for a -4 in this case for defence might not be a good shout.
I agree. There you go. Blah, blah, blah. Stick with who you've got. Start Tanganga. Have Target first bench. And the rest is history. SA Sports Fanatic saying, I love Kane and Aubameyang for the last 2 game weeks. Yeah, I think if you've got both, that is a major, major differential. Although, I don't know what the rest of your team must look like if that is the case. Neon popped up saying, if Wood is a better striker, I expect a return from him versus Norwich. Don't worry, Neon. He's going to return, baby. He's going to get a hat-trick tonight. I brought him in myself. It only means one thing. Mac saying, pick one to start out of Mendy, Robertson and Ritchie. The home defender for me, Robertson. What do you guys think? Mendy, Robertson or Ritchie? Oh, wait. I just remembered. Mendy plays Watford. I don't know. The problem is you don't know if he's going to start, do you? If Mendy starts, then Mendy. If not, then Robertson. What do you lot think?
I think Robertson.
I would lean to Robertson, but I'm just worried about rotation because Liverpool could just do whatever.
Robertson seems to be the most popular answer there, Mac. Good luck with whatever you decide there. KB says, I'm a United fan. KB, is that Keyboy? KB. I'm not sure. He says, I'm a United fan. I just think fatigue is kicking in. Fair point. Steve says, it's going to be tight. A goal in it. People going on as if we'll score 6. Yes, Wood is a great option against a shambolic team as he's one of very few people that score for us. And it is worth saying, Steve, and to the rest of the chat, anyone considering Wood, Chris Wood only scored more than 1 goal once this season and a double-digit haul. And that was, you guessed it, home to Norwich. Grekler saying, would you play Pulisic over Greenwood? I would not. But it is 50-50. It could go either way. I've seen a lot of people saying Pulisic over Greenwood. I go Greenwood over Pulisic personally. Bilal says play Greenwood. There we go. If Bilal says it and he's absolutely smashing the James Band Cash Mini League, you gotta go Greenwood, baby. Chris Jagger saying, very good. I much prefer chat than the note. Cheers, Chris. I'm going to take that as a compliment and not read it out, but I appreciate your comments. Skinny Man says, I think Pope will get a clean sheet. I absolutely hope he doesn't. Samit saying, Captain Sterling or David Silva. David Silva says, for safety, I think he'll start. Sterling, if you're feeling a bit risky. I think Sterling's a very explosive option, and I think he's a good option this week. Who would you be most scared of not having in Game Week 38, asks Chris. This is obviously individual to everyone's teams. For me, it's going to be Mohamed Salah against a Newcastle team. Yes, it's away. Yes, Newcastle can often keep it quiet, but they are quite depleted in defence right now. So Salah for me. Quick run around, Paulie. Who are you most afraid of not owning Game Week 38 and will not own?
between Aubameyang and probably Jesus for Man City.
Okay, Dre?
I agree. I've got the free hit available for 38, but I'm not thinking about those two at all. So yeah, I go with those two.
Interesting. Where am I from? I am not from Yorkshire. It's the first time anyone's ever said that to me. I'm from Luton.
What?
Notorious Nerd, David Silva's final game at home will be Real Madrid, not Norwich. Fair point. Steven Jackson, I took Jesus out for Jimenez and regret it. Should be able to reverse transfers, in my opinion. Tweet to official FPL Steven Jackson. Let's introduce a reverse transfer chip. Vince, sorry, I was going to read out his full name there. Vince saying 2-0 Burnley. Come on, Tarkowski. I can't wait for Tarkowski to get sent off, Vince. Come on, the Canaries. FPL Anderson, Lacazette as a punt. Now, this is a very interesting pick, Lacazette. I think there's a good chance he starts. Jack Benzie says he's from Luton too. Jack Benzie, we've got some catching up to do, my man. Interesting. FPL Anderson, Lacazette as a punt. I think Lacazette is going really much under the radar. I think he's a great pick for the last two. I think there's a good chance he starts as well. Yeah, watch that space. Not many people mentioning him, Ian. You could be onto something there. Silva or Sterling captain? Sterling, for me, Silva is a bit safer. Silva is a safer pick out of Silva and Sterling. So it really depends on sort of FPL manager you are. I'm not on Sterling, Brew. I am on Martial, so I'm not copying you, mate. Phil says 1-0 Norwich. Inject that. It wasn't me, guys. It was Phil. Jack Benzie saying 2-0 Norwich for sure. Vince saying Phil don't have Pope. What a hater. Phil says he doesn't have any Burnley. SA Sports Fanatic asking, how does Mahrez to Foden, Greenwood to Nketiah, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Aubameyang or Kane for a -4 sit with you, Bhuna? That sits very well with me, mate. I think that sounds stunning. That is a very, very nice -4. The only other question that remains is Aubameyang or Kane, and I'm going to put it to the chat. So, guys, help out SA Sports Fanatic if you had an option and you could bring in one of Aubameyang or Kane. Comment below, who would it be? And I'll ask you boys as well, Aubameyang or Kane for the last two games?
Aubameyang for me.
Aubameyang.
Obama blood clot yang. There we go. Worth moving Maguire to Martial, says Alex01. Would be Willian out to bring in Martial and a Burnley defender in. Sounds good, Alex. Going through chat, Alex01 says Aubameyang, Jack Benzie saying Aubameyang. Bilal saying Aubameyang. The Gooner saying Aubameyang. Shock. Notorious Nerd saying Kane. Skinny Man saying Aubameyang. Blah 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 saying Aubameyang. There we go. Aubameyang seems to be winning there, Sports Fanatic. JC asking, who are you going to bench last game week? Saiss and Fernandes. Yeah, and so Saiss is away to Chelsea. Fernandes is at home to Liverpool. So I'm going to be making some defensive transfers, unfortunately, in game week 38. Maybe just the one. And probably another -4 somewhere to maybe even a -8, because why not? Richard Hill saying best defender for this game week? I don't know. At this stage of the season, I don't think there are many good defenders. What do you lot think?
Aspilicueta maybe.
Away to Liverpool.
I mean, I don't really. At this
I
point,
can't get that. You've lost your head there. You've lost your head. Moving on. Paulie.
Well, they kept cutting out.
Best defender for this game week.
This game week.
Yeah, I agree with Jack Benzie in chat. That would be my pick. It would be Doherty.
In terms of fixture or attacking potential?
Fixture.
Yeah, Wolves against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I would agree. I would go Doherty.
I saw a lot of people talking about TNA as well this week.
I know. I've seen that. Ace Adventurer playing Devil's Advocate. Laka due a rest, no? As Nketiah has been off, Laka has played loads. Yeah, fair point. I still think he's a nice differential. He might get tonight off though, gents, against City. Although he probably won't, will he? Because Nketiah's not playing, so he's kind of got to play. So yeah, maybe he's a bit more riskier than I first thought. Avoid Lacazette, guys. If anyone's already made that transfer, I apologise. At me on Twitter, and we'll sort something out. Lots of Aubameyang love on that Aubameyang versus Kane question in the chat. Phil says, remind people of the damage Kane normally does in the last few weeks of the season. That is very true, but Phil, we're talking about a different Kane compared to previous seasons. He's not looked the same for me. He did score 2 against Newcastle, though, which is promising. But if Kane's scoring 2 against Newcastle, it just makes me think, what sort of damage is Mohamed Salah going to do there on the final game week of the season? MSK Wilmorson saying, worth taking a -4 hit to take out Edison for another City attacker? Probably not, mate. You've got a nailed-on option there, so I wouldn't do that. Ace Adventure saying, Doherty, a good shot this game week. PVA out on his side, and Doherty just had rest. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to get that new youngster playing at left back, on you, Tyreek Walker or something like that. I can't remember his exact name.
I've just seen Bhuna Stoke have beaten Brentford.
I know, mate. I've seen that.
No.
Yeah, so Brentford is still third.
And West Brom has the advantage again.
Yeah.
They were devastated last night.
Oh my day.
You got it because you're a big Brentford, Brentford's biggest fan, aren't you, Dre?
I am the
BMW fanboy.
I am the BMW fanboy, but seriously, anyone but West Brom. We don't need. Sorry to any West Brom fans here, but we don't need West Brom in the Prem. No thanks.
Aritravo Audi. Sorry if I've butchered your name there really badly. Sell Antonio or Pulisic for Salah. Pulisic for me. Antonio is a really nice last fixture, and that swings it for me. Is Sonic keep for the last 2 weeks? He absolutely is, MSK. And Man Dillon's.
Charlton have equalised at 94th minute as well.
Is that 2-2?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good because Wigan, we don't want them to win because they're going to be getting deducted 12 points as well.
Yeah, so they'll be on 46 now.
Yeah, exactly. That works out really well. A man Dylan saying, everyone building up Wolves' defence. This ain't going to end well. Jack Benzi saying, can anyone top 150k down to 20k so far since the restart? Hashtag humble brag. That is not humble at all, Jack. Have a word with yourself, sunshine. Sportsman saying, yeah, Antonio's scorching hot, but as soon as he scored his goal last night, he seemed to hug the left flank the rest of the game. Don't know why, though. I wouldn't worry too much about it, mate. That last game is amazing. I don't think I'm a Mahrez lookalike. Sup, 70. Doherty for 37 plus says, Yusuf, yeah, absolutely. Lewis Kirkby, here he is, the Tarkovsky captain, Lewis Kirkby, ladies and gentlemen. How you feeling, Lewis? Have you bottled it yet? I'd like to ask a question to the chat about my own team. Guys, I've taken a -4, as you're aware, to bring in Son and Wood. I'm running on a -4, and my defence, as you can see, is pretty weak. Got Taylor and Lascelles, who won't feature on my bench. Would you take another -4, bench Fernandes to give me an additional bench option? Or would you leave it as it is? What do you guys think?
I would just stick. I mean, as I said to you before, I think anything above a -4 in your position, in your team, on defence, I think that's too much.
Shock, Lewis Kirkby has bottled the Tarkovsky captaincy.
Well, Sterling's not gonna. If Sterling doesn't play a minute,
MSK117 saying, is Salah a good punt for captaincy in the last week, taking a -4 hit and taking out Trent? I wouldn't be taking out Trent. If you're taking out Trent to fund Salah, that's a terrible move, MSK, especially for a hit. Jack Benzi, Daniel Bain saying, leave it as it is. Marco saying, don't do the additional -4. JC saying, Fernandez out for Ender Stevens. Waz saying, I love your team for this week. Should have a big green arrow. Yeah, but the -4 is a bit of a downer, but hey, it is what it is. Vince saying, United going to win 4-0 versus West Ham. Marco saying, Fernandez is a good option. Skinny Man saying, need to stick. SA Sports Fanatic saying, don't sacrifice a -4 on a defender, Bhuna. Lewis Kirkby saying, he's still got Tarkovsky as vice. Mark Bain saying, take a -4 because someone has to get lucky sometimes. Hello, Sir Chris. Not heard of your name before. Welcome, mate. Hope you're well. Triple captain Sterling versus Norwich. Absolutely, mate. What a fixture. Laguna saying, going back to Spurs again. Yeah, mate, what can I say? Got my Spurs goggles firmly on right now, unfortunately. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to ask? Dre, Paulie, really appreciate you joining me, as ever.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you feel, I have a question for everybody. What specific differential would you consider for 38? Because 38 is the game week where I think team sheets will go wild, especially for teams that have nothing to play for.
Completely agree. I completely agree. 38 is usually a weird game week, and we often get some really peculiar scores. The particular games that I'm looking at that I consider could be high scoring are obviously Man City, Norwich. You've got Liverpool, Newcastle. I think Liverpool trounced them, even though it's away. West Ham versus Villa. That could be interesting. And even Leicester, Man United. I think Richarlison could be an interesting pick, despite how poor he's been in recent weeks. Kirkby saying David Silva is a lock for 38. Interesting. One second, guys. My earphone's just falling out my ears. Got a bit of a blackout. And we're back.